I think that's a perfect segue to talk about a couple of kind of recent innovations that are in the news and kind of think about how you guys are approaching them. So I think one that obviously everybody's talking about right now is like Ozempic, Wegovy, like the obesity drugs that for the first time actually work, right? Like these are amazing innovations. And it's funny. So I was in San Diego when Byetta first came out, which is like the first real GLP-1, and that they thought there was some possibility this could have weight loss, and it's amazing to see. I think basically this is like version 3 of this drug, and the stuff that's already coming down the pipeline with, I think Eli Lilly has a an oral version in phase 3. So it's here, and it's what is amazing to me is we've known forever, right? Like eat well, diet, exercise is the way to go. And we've been yelling about that for decades. And we have a new possibility. We have something that actually works. We have something that has real potential here, and it's getting better, as I said, with version 4 or 5. And so, and I will say that I've talked to lots of people in the business and in different places, and the first words out are like, "Oh my God, well, it's so expensive. We can't do this." And the last thing I'll say first, and I'm sure you're aware of this data, that there was, I think it was like the STAR trial, or sort of with an S, like where they saw a 20% decrease in cardiovascular risk, which of course, if anybody would say like, oh, if people lost a considerable amount of weight, they had less cardiovascular risk. Like, didn't know we needed a 17,000 person trial to show that, but we all have to show that. So I'm very curious how Curative is approaching these things, this class of drugs.
These drugs are, I think, very exciting, and I think with each generation, they're showing improvements. Costs are coming down, hopefully for the effect that they have, but we're figuring out dosing and other support programs that go along with them to have long-term effect. I don't think any one of these drugs is for everyone, and I think some people will find one that's right for them, and some of them will actually find long-term success with some of the more traditional methods as well. I think peer support or nutrition programs aren't going to go away because of these drugs. I think these drugs help people get started on their journey. But
if you look at the stock prices of a lot of these companies, they've all tanked. So it's not necessarily the market thinks.
Sure, I mean, Zoom looked like it was going to be the best stock ever sometime in 2020. Right? I think the stock market has a short-term view of things, and I think we'll realize that these are very important drugs that we can add to our arsenal, and getting making people aware of all their options and getting them trying the right combination of things there, I think is going to be very important. I think this comes back to the role of the payer, because the payer is one of the people that, if you spend a lot of money on these programs, and drug programs included, you can see a long-term benefit in cost. And I don't, and I think that's where, again, the payer mindset has to be about, we're investing in your health because we understand that long-term it benefits both of us. And I think one of the reasons we're seeing some dissonance is that if you think you only have a member for 6 months and every program has to pay for itself in 6 months, these things don't make sense. And I think that's where Curative's mindset is, these fit nicely into that program. That for some people, these are the right things to do, and we should make them available, make them aware of their options. So that, I think very exciting for us.
So they are on formulary?
We do cover them for some people. I'm not sure about the exact criteria, but they're there along with Weight Watchers, and I think Noom and a few other programs that we have. And one of the roles of the Care Navigators is to make sure that people are aware of these programs, getting into them, reporting on how they're doing, and letting us know if they want to try something different.
How do you, I'm just curious from your perspective, if you don't have the exact data in front of you, for something like this, is your perspective, when you said you guys are setting up for some patients and some not, are you setting it more from a medical criteria, like, okay, if your BMI or whatever metric you're using, it's right for you, or is it more a um, you know, last line of like, okay, you've tried these 5 different things, and now after showing you've done the level of effort, we'll put you on there, because I think it's a very different mindset, when we think about it, of which we're going to put you on.
Yeah, and I can't speak the exact criteria
Sure.
for the GLP ones here, but we have clinical guidance committees that regularly review the latest evidence and cost, demonstrated which populations this is right for, what kind of benefit they can expect, weighs all those things together and decides the criteria. Um, I think we have to remember that can't let drug companies come up with any number and we'll just pay it.
Sure.
And if you want to lose £5 taking a $5,000 drug, isn't maybe the first thing you should do. It's not in your interests, and it's not in your employers or your long term interests. If every year costs go out of control and next year your premium gets doubled and copays and deductibles are back, no one wants that. I do think we have to be responsible stewards of the financial stability of the plan. So, but at the same time, a lot of people can clearly benefit from having some more support in weight loss. And so, maybe not everyone's on the $5,000 drug. Maybe you offer the $500 drug to a lot of people. That's the exciting thing about the competition. It's not there's one wonder drug here, but there's a whole bunch, and there's clear evidence that there's a trend where we're beginning to have some real breakthroughs into how to use these to help people achieve weight loss that they've really, really struggled with.